Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. A new survey found out about 2 of 5 people say they feel less connected to other people because of the pandemic. That makes sense. I'm surprised it's not more.
Yeah.
1 out of 6 say they've even called a customer service line just to talk to another human being.
Oh, no.
Wow.
That could be the saddest thing I've heard in the morning.
Right. That is very, very sad. That really, really is. It's like, wow. You know, it's funny. I mean, I know being a geek and a board gamer, there's a lot of folks I know who are socially awkward, and I do hear these kind of stories. For whatever reason, it just is massively difficult for them to put themselves out there, even to connect with somebody via phone, via Zoom. So I guess this is sort of a non-confrontational or a safe way to talk to another human being. Maybe you don't feel like you'll be judged. I don't understand it myself.
I mean, would you call a customer service line and be like, and they're like, okay, sir, what is the problem with the pasta sauce that you purchased from us? Nothing. Everything was fine with the pasta. In fact, I didn't even buy any pasta sauce. I'm just calling to say hi. Like, that would be so weird. Would you stay on the phone with the person?
I feel like, man, most of the time people are calling you to complain, so maybe it would be nice just to have a good call. And I know, if you're in the business of customer service, that is sort of like human connection. If you're really good at it. I mean, there are a lot of people I think, look, they need a job. And so they do they get into customer service or, and handle things on the phone, and they really shouldn't have that job. But me, I would have stayed, Steve, because I really like talking to people. I realized there was a component to making a customer happy by having a good conversation with them outside of the product they were buying.
So, like, I noticed that myself, like, if I go get coffee or even at takeout when I'm picking up, like, our teriyaki, like, I'll end up having a longer conversation with the people that work there, because it is kind of nice to actually be face to face and conversing with someone, as opposed to a lot of times now I'm doing things on phone or Zoom, like how everyone is doing it these days. So there are those moments where it's like, I'll be more willing to share what I'm doing in my day, as opposed to in the past. It's just like, they'll be like, hey, what do you got going on for the rest of the day? My stock answer was always, I just got some errands to run. My wife's like, what are these errands that you always say? I'm like, I don't feel like telling. No, I'll actually be like, oh, I'm going to go do this and that. And it's like, I find myself leaving in a better mood, though.
You're right. It's a really good point. I used to get irritated whenever anybody would go, so what's going on? And I'd be like, why do you care? I'm just buying a zucchini. What are you doing here?
Well, and usually you buy an eggplant, sir, so we were kind of confused by this.
You know what? That's a good point. But you're right. But now it's sort of like, especially if I actually have something planned that I'm looking forward to, because obviously when you're sheltering in place, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to go home again. It's like, this is my big outing. This was my big plan. And now back to my miserable life.
What's the one it was funny the other day, I was there and like, oh, so how's your day going? They're like, oh, it's great. It's my Friday. And it wasn't Friday. Usually that pisses me off, but I was fine with it. Now the pandemic has changed me. I was like, good. Have a good weekend.
Wait.
then.
Were you at a food place?
I was at a coffee place.
Okay.
That's
See,
what
that would make me happy too. So
Yeah.
just in general, like if I'm going to get a chicken nuggets, I'm going to be willing to talk to anyone.
That's very true.
It could be your Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Tell me
See,
whatever
that's-
you want.
That's the sad thing, because as we all get more and more vaccinated and we get more herd immunity, that means we are going to go back to our lives, which of course we've wanted, but then will we go back to our nastier selves?
Or maybe, I'm sure people will kind of go back to maybe being a little less sociable, but maybe it's a little bit better than they were before, I mean, at some point, like, people are going to be still appreciative of human interaction again.
Yeah, I hope you're right, Steve. I want to be that way. I surely want to keep it in my brain and go, man, I liked it when I slowed down a little bit and really like just appreciated people, as opposed to just, it's because this survey found that 2/3 of the folks say they prefer to talk to a customer service person who's nice than one who gets things done fast.
Oh, I don't know, man. If it's something that I need done, I want it done fast.
That was quick.
Yeah.
That was done.
Well, have you ever been on that line where you're like trying to deal with something, maybe like there was an issue with your credit card, so you call the credit card company, and then they're doing like the small talk that they're doing. You're just like, dude, I don't have this time. Like, that's great. Like, just fix the thing I'm trying to get fixed. You know what I mean?
Well, you're not part of
I'm
those.
still miserable with the customer service.
See, but it's funny because if I get somebody who gets the job done and everything, but they're just a miserable human being, then I still walk away from that phone call just not in a good mood.
Yeah,
So-
you're looking at this guy right here. Miserable human being, but I got the job done.
Yeah.
Is that what you tell your wife?
Oh, wow.
You got the job done.
That's his Tinder bio.
Wow. Thanks, Victoria.
Come on, I was actually awake and said something.
By the way, that should be on Vicky's Tinder bio.
That's Vicky's Tinder
I was
bio.
I was actually awake and said something.
There's never been truer bios than that.
That's very true. You know what? That would be a great piece if we just all, instead of on the station website, we just put our Tinder bio.
Right?
Yeah, that's all we need.
Will you
That's
swipe
it.
left or was it right? Which one?
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Will you
right.
swipe right for me?
Oh, yeah. That's funny because the company that runs Tinder, who also runs Match.com, Hinge, OK, I didn't know they ran all these places. They I guess that makes sense.
But do they have...
City folks just don't get it.
Don't have farmers only. They don't have farmers only, but they have OK Cupid. So
I don't even know. What is Hinge?
It's the new one that's out.
it sounds like an English word for a female part of the anatomy.
Okay.
It is not. They do a lot of mini commercials all over the internet. That's like, this is the dating app that we want you to delete because they want you to find love. I didn't find love on it, so.
Oh, you didn't find love on Hinge?
No. I've tried
Maybe you should
pretty
try
much
the
all
one
of
that you should try the English one that rhymes with Hinge. Maybe that'll get you what you need.
Maybe.
A binge?
I can't think of it.
No, you guys don't know this word. You got
It
to
was
really
used
be.
in South Park once
Yeah.
with Oprah's. Yeah.
Binge?
Don't say
No,
it.
we
Be
don't.
careful.
Don't
Don't
try
say
to
it.
figure it out.
Yeah, it's not a word. You can,
Squinge.
okay, squinge. That's it. Yes.
Yes, that's
Squinge.
it. Absolutely,
That's what
it.
it is.
Oh,
All
Vicky
right.
found it.
Vicky found it. She.
Oh.
Hello, governor.
I didn't even know that's a bad word, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a word. That's yeah.
That was actually going to be the next one that I was going to say.
It's a good thing you didn't.
Yeah, because I was like, I was trying to think of moist and hinge, and then
okay, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner.
that's a
and by the way, why would you use that word? Nobody likes the M word, Steve.
I do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, how else are you supposed to describe cake?
Exactly.
Yep, or cornbread.
Tasty.
Okay, you know what? Seriously, Vicky, I thought you also didn't like that word.
Actually, it doesn't bother me.
I don't get
really?
why. Yeah, I don't get why people get all worked up about it, but that's just me. So what's going on with Hinge?
Well, all these sites have just announced that they're going to start letting users run background checks on their dates, which I think would be a fantastic idea. And yet, 21% of the people say they're not going to use it. They don't think it's something they want. They don't care about somebody's history before a date.
Is that because they're trying to hide their own history?
It must be, right? Why?
It seems weird.
Why wouldn't you want? I mean, again, look, we don't want to think the world's a horrible place, and really, I would imagine that 99.9% of the people on Tinder and all these sites are good people. You know, even if you don't have a match, or even if it, whatever. I mean, that doesn't mean they're evil, wanting to do bad to you. But still, if it's available, sure, just check it in case there is some loser out there just trying to be mean to people.
Right, like I don't care if like you have bad credit score, but if you stabbed your last boyfriend, like maybe I kind of want to know about that.
Oh, hold on a second. Actually, I want to know about the credit score, Steve. I think that I can live with the stabbing, but somebody with bad credit's going to ruin my entire life.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but only Steve, it was close. It was only 59% of people that say they want to get info on someone before the date. The rest aren't sure. Why can't those other 10% of those folks at least commit so then we can have the magic number of,
Yes.
I think it's a combo of not wanting to know the person. You want to get to know them in real life. And the other half is, I don't want to know anything about you. I'm just trying to bang.
Right. I think the people who aren't sure, it all depends on how hot that person is.
Yes.
Like, she's hot. Sure, she, just murdered the last 3 boyfriends she had, but she's really hot, guys.
Yeah, dude, you're absolutely right. I think the majority of the people don't want to check are men. They're like, yeah, whatever. I don't want to know if she's crazy because I think she's hot. I don't need to know this.
I don't want to know if she's married.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Vicky, we don't want to know anything that will basically take away from the fact she's hot and I want to do things. Yep. Hey, thanks to the pandemic, many people say that they've used the time to take an online course to better themselves. What do you think was the most popular online course taken? I'll tell you at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
New on Curiosity Stream. Deformed trees, mutated wildlife, and no humans for miles. 10 years after the disaster at Fukushima, see what this irradiated ecosystem can teach us about nuclear fallout on Radioactive Forest. Plus, looking for the most diverse marine life on the planet? Dive into the Coral Triangle and experience a frenzy of wildlife you've got to see to believe on nature's greatest secret. It's all on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Well, the pandemic has brought a lot of things to a lot of people, including the big B, boredom.
Oh,
you were thinking some other big B?
I was trying to figure out what that big B would be. Booty.
Yeah.
Booty. Big booty.
Okay, then. Well, yeah, I would say, the booty's gotten bigger. That's for sure. Yeah, I would say that. At least mine, anyway. Oh. Not that anybody wanted to know, but,
Well, if you watched the Grammys performance, you would have seen a lot of nice Bs.
Yeah.
There's plenty of booties out there, from Dua Lipa to Megan Thee Stallion to Cardi B.
Yeah.
To Harry Styles. I mean, all the booty.
Oh, yeah. That Harry Styles kid. Yeah, the boredom, though, during this past year has had people go, you know what? I think it's time for me to learn something new. There was a 582% jump in people registering for online courses last year.
I thought about that. I mean, thankfully, knock on wood, we were able to still continue to work during all this. But if I had that kind of downtime, would you apply it to going to an online course or trying to pick up some kind of new skill? And if so, what would it be?
Yeah. The number one thing, which, I think you could see this evident over Instagram, Facebook, probably Twitter as well. The number one thing. Porn. Yeah, that's it. The number one thing is porn.
Well, I was thinking OnlyFans, but same thing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you show some respect. Yeah. Not everyone does porn on OnlyFans.
Oh, sorry.
Exactly.
Sorry.
That's right. There are certain people we know in this room that actually,
Oh, Rev, what's OnlyFans?
I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
It's onlyfans.com/RevsKitties.
Okay. Revs what? Oh, kitties.
Right,
kitties.
Yeah. I'm doing that.
K.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
Kitties. Carl and Frank.
The number one thing does start with a P, Steve, but it's not porn. Yeah. Wow. I don't even know where your brain went there.
Well, I don't want to ruin it for you.
Wow. Okay. Well, I said Instagram, and what do people usually do on Instagram?
Annoy me.
Okay, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, they've taken annoyance courses.
Complaining and annoying. No, photography.
There we go.
Photography,
yes.
Pictures.
Yeah, people have taken online courses to be better at photography, and that's
Why do that when you got all these great filters on your iPhone? I don't need to be a good photographer. You just hit a button, it's better.
Well, I've actually, I've seen people taking a course at the Apple store, back before the pandemic, where they taught you actually how to be really great at using their camera. Like there's stuff that I didn't even know you could do, and there was a dude up there giving a lecture about it. So, with the Genius Bar can teach you basically how to do that. So maybe maybe that's the kind of online course, or if they've gone really knee deep into getting like the fancy cameras, which I know a lot. I know some of my friends have done that.
I've seen a few friends post that they just recently got back into, they were already into photography, but then stopped because of life. And then now that life has slowed down for them, they're getting back into it again.
Yeah. People going into graphic design. That's the number 2 thing. Folks wanting to be all artistry.
My thought was, if I had the time and also just the energy, and I know that it's a skill that is just way above my level of brains, but I would love to be able to be like an app developer and just create my own apps and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. But I don't have that energy and time. And
so maybe you mean the idea guy, right? I mean, do you think that you're like the code guy? Is that what you mean?
Well, that's why I'm not doing it, BJ. I would like to be the code. I would like to be able to come up with the idea and create it all, from thought to completion, all me.
Wow.
I wanted to get into animation, and I figured out, I found out some software and started doing it. I'm like, this is very time consuming.
Yeah.
It's cutting into my wrestling watching.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you could be a great idea guy, but then let somebody do the nuts and bolts of it all.
But I want to do the nuts and bolts too.
Oh, really?
Don't take that out of context.
No, too late.
Yeah. Flag that, please. And number 3 is something that we know people get into a lot, and I get it, because the last thing you want to do is really gain a lot of weight when you're in this situation, and then you can go in the other direction and go into the world of nutrition.
That's also just way above my. I've tried to do research on how to properly put on muscle and not on the fat and all about the macros, and I'm just I just want someone just to tell me what to eat. This is just too much effort.
Yeah.
There's a great science to it, and some people get really nerdy about it, and it's interesting. I'm there's something that happens with my brain. It just turns off when I start getting a little too deep into that.
Yeah, I think that's just I think that you can say that for a lot of things. Just me knowing you and just even the world of board games, it's your brain doesn't want to go there.
No.
Yeah, I just want to go deep into whatever that world might be, and I knew that. I knew that pretty much was hey, you got this game, and it's a pretty lightweight game, and you were like, oh, we just looked at it, we looked at the rules, we threw it across the table. I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna try to get Steve to board game anything, because you have to have a kind of brain that likes to go deep on certain things, and that's maybe the average person isn't like that, which is probably a blessing. Because I think all I'm doing is just keeping my crazy mind entertained.
Nutrition is one of the ones too, though, that I see a lot of my friends who don't have jobs, and they're just they start a food blog, and they're talking about their relationship with food, and those kind of people. I'm are you actually doing research, or are you just reading other people's Instagrams? I want to know,
dude. There are a lot of times where I see some of these quote unquote life coaches, and it's just I just read, how many times are you going to post this? And then I look at the person, I'm like, oh, it's a completely different person. Yeah. There's I think there's some guru that tells them everything to say, and then they just write it, and they just write the same thing. It's the same verbiage basically, but just coming from a different person.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe that's why they should take an online social media course, so they don't look like every other. Yeah, that's right? Number 4 on the list.
Oh, wait, taking a social media class?
Yeah. Well, dude,
tweeting 101?
Well, when our business. How many times have we been told how to do this?
Yeah, set the timer to 6 seconds if you're sending a picture of your dong, not 9. Oh, wow. That's one of the first things they teach you in social media class.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah. And I think this is along the same lines because you use social media for this. People have been taking marketing classes. Again, those are jobs I feel like, if you have any propensity, if you know social media, if you know marketing, you should be able to get a job anywhere in this world. It's without being a super scientist or something.
So if you had the time, and I know you're busy with your board games, but if you had the time and you could take a course on anything and like learn something new, learn a new skill, what would it be?
Oh, wow. I suppose editing video.
Okay.
I don't want to, but that would be a skill. It would be good to know.
I hate editing video.
It's so funny. I love editing video. I do it all on my phone. It cracks my buddies up. They look at like my little editing software on my phone, and like you look at the visual representation of all the edits, and it just looks, it's pure insanity. But I love doing that. I'll just sit on my couch and just put together videos.
There are a lot of people that love doing that, and that's where a person like me would love to find a person like you, because I don't mind creating the content. I don't want to edit it.
But see, I want to do the things I want to do. Like, I don't want to be the guy that's like, someone's going to like commission me to edit video for them, because then it's just like, then it becomes a chore.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that I like. If it's something I want to do, I get excited about it, and I'll just hyper focus on that. It drives my wife nuts, because I'll be like in the middle of editing it while I'm like standing there in the bathroom peeing, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I got to get this one more edit. I just want to get it done." I'm in the flow. Both,
as it were.
Both ways.
That's delightful.
What about you, Vicky?
Yeah, I really want to do something artsy-fartsy, and I can't decide between sculpting and glass blowing.
Glass blowing.
Oh, do the glass blowing.
Yeah, I want to go to a glass blowing class. That would be fun.
It would. I just feel like I would definitely burn myself one or two times the first go around.
Oh, Vicky, you would hurt yourself in anything you do, so you might as well.
Might as well just
do
go
what
for
you
it.
love.
I know nothing about glass blowing, but I have this fear that I'm going to inhale something.
Oh, gee. Oh,
like flames or glass. I don't know what, but
Vicky, you need to check out. There's a show on Netflix called Blown Away. And there's a lot of entendres in the glass blowing world.
I was just thinking the pun.
Yeah, and it's really fun. There's actually a guy from Tacoma in the first season. That's ended why I ended up watching it. No, not Dale Chihuly.
Oh, okay.
It's more of a local guy because it's a competition show. So these people are trying to make the best glass, and it's actually super intense because they're trying to get the glass pieces off of like the whole bar and stuff. And any like wrong move can just shatter a whole piece that they've been working so hard on. It's very stressful.
And it's always been like one of my favorite things since I was a little kid, because back in the day when in the Everett Mall, there used to be this guy, he had a little kiosk and he had all these really beautiful like glass creatures and stuff, and he would make them right there in front of everyone at the mall.
That's cool.
So it was always like my favorite stop to go sit there and just watch him make like unicorns or dolphins or whatever, and it was just so fascinating. I think it'd be so fun to try.
I mean, just to piggyback on that, and balloon animals. I'd love to know how to make proper balloon animals.
Well, I think that might be a little easier to do than glass blowing.
A little less dangerous, too.
Yeah, probably a little
But what if it pops in your hand?
Well, there is that. Yeah.
Or like the sugar version of glass blowing. Like, I watch a lot of those baking shows. Baking would be one of the ones I would absolutely love to do.
There you go. Baking's good.
Yeah, man. But like the person that does all the crazy sugar art that looks like it's like a blown piece of glass, but it's actually just sugar. That's some cool stuff.
Oh, that is really cool. I Googled sugar blowing and wasn't really expecting to get that, but those look great.
I am surprised that's all you got when you
You know what?
basically
And my
Googled
safe search is on.
That's why.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's
Although I'm looking at what she's doing, and it looks like that's not a safe search. What is she? Okay.
Well, you have to be fast with your fingers.
Okay. Yeah, okay, there you go.
All right, what about Danny, though? Like, if you're...
Drums.
100%.
I've always wanted to learn how to play drums, and I suck really bad.
You've got a world premiere drummer right across from you right there.
Vicky?
Hi.
Yeah, Vicky. She drums all the time.
You've got
on the
the
flip side,
drummer.
I would love to like play guitar and piano just so I could write songs.
Sure,
Yeah.
and I would teach you how to play guitar, except I am a terrible teacher. So at that point, you probably would not learn more than anything else. But yeah, for some reason, I've always wanted to learn how to play drums and just like sit behind a kit. And I don't want to do anything crazy technical. I just want to, I don't know, hit things really hard.
It would be like Billy Joe Armstrong.
Yeah.
Those weren't on the list, by the way. I think it's really wild that of all the online things people did, nobody really wanted to learn online, like an online musical instrument or baking or cooking. That was not in this list of what people did for online courses, which I find fascinating because there's so many online courses for cooking and baking out there, but nobody cared, even though we heard so many people started baking and cooking.
No, in all fairness, they did make it on the list, just not in the top 10. So cooking and
there
baking
you
were
go.
in there, also guitar as well. And also tarot reading, because that's...
I mean, tarot.
That too.
Good old tarot.
Tarot. Well, it looks like carrots, so I figured I was okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Rev, what about you? Because clearly I don't want a tarot read.
Dancing. That's one of the things. I know.
What kind of dancing?
Just fun dancing.
Like swing dancing?
I'm picturing the Rev twerking to WAP.
See,
Well, we can do that.
I was thinking tap dancing.
No, there's no tap dancing. Tap dancing is annoying as F.
I was thinking Labada, the forbidden dance.
Oh, yes, the forbidden dance.
Wait, tap dancing? What do you got against tap dancing? Tap dancing is a beautiful art.
Yes.
For who? It's clickety-clackety and so annoying.
There you go. Tap dancing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I hate it.
Would you do ballroom dancing or tango?
Maybe. It's one of those things I'd like to actually learn a little bit because I have no moves whatsoever. And because of my Apple Watch, I've been dancing to get my exercise in.
Oh, can you videotape this?
Like cross dancing?
Maybe I'll videotape me dancing at some point when I'm feeling it. But I listen to all sorts of crappy music, so it's just all over the place. And I'm literally just moving around so my watch recognizes the fact that I'm moving.
That's fun. I want to see those videos.
Okay, fine.
That is very, very fun. Yeah, well, I think Rev, he's probably doing Wheel of Fortune. Maybe he's trying to get on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh, dear. I got to know stuff.
I would go back to watching that show again if Rev was on Dancing with the Stars, because that's a very frustrating. When I used to watch with my wife, it was fun to watch the ladies, don't get me wrong, but when they would practice, it's just repetition, screwing up, hurting yourself, and I could just see the Rev having a lot of meltdowns.
I would have so many meltdowns. You heard me trying to sing when we tried to do the sea shanty, and I lost my mind.
Yeah, you did. Hit a meltdown.
Oh, yeah. And dancing is very difficult, and my body just can't figure it out. I got no rhythm, and my wife and I went to dancing classes, and finally she just gave up. She was like, "You're an idiot."
I did a Dancing with the Stars thing in Albuquerque when I was on the radio there. And man, we trained for probably 10 weeks and I still was terrible. It's amazing watching those shows and they learn a new dance in a week. I don't get it.
I'm now picturing the Rev doing ballet. I think
yes.
Ooh, with those little
the Nutcracker.
shoes.
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right, so BJ's going to edit video of all of us doing our... Vicky's going to blow glass.
Yes.
Danny's going to play the drum, bang the drums.
Yeah.
I'm going to make balloon animals.
Oh, wow.
I think that's what I'm going to go with.
This is a party.
Yeah, and the Rev's going to dance.
I'm going to dance.
This
is the world's worst talent show.
This is a party. Yesterday, Steve, he did get this one right.
In regards to Sherlock Holmes, what is Dr. Watson's first name?
Emma.
No.
Sherlock?
No.
John.
Yes.
We did not expect you to get that right, and you pulled John out of the hat.
I didn't think I was getting it right either.
Wow. You want a shot at beating Steve? Hopefully he won't be this lucky. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs at 8:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How do I figure out who my creditors are?
People a lot of times have had a long time of not having good credit and having collections, and so they're concerned that you may be concerned that you won't be able to find all your creditors if you file bankruptcy. How will I know which collection agency has my credit card bill from 10 years ago now? And that's something that's hard to keep track of because credit collection agencies transfer your debts all over the place. But we will pull all your credit bureaus, and by getting all three of your credit bureaus, we'll be able to tell who has your credit and debt now, which collection agencies have had it in the past, and we'll make sure that we file all your creditors when we file your bankruptcy so that nothing slips through the cracks.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.